Hello Patreon supporters. Today we're going to be doing this Stellar's Sea Eagle in Inktense. So let's get started. Now I'm missing the very first part of this video where I've blocked in the beak and the white part on her forehead and a little bit of her eye. But all of that I'm going to go over again so it'll get covered. I did the background for this in airbrush, and that video, I have a separate video for that, for this actual background that I will link you to below. And I'm using a combination of the Inktense pencils and the Inktense blocks. And this is not something I'm going to sell or even do prints of. This is I'm just practicing. But I thought this would be an interesting video to watch how I learn a new medium. This is only my second project and only my second time ever using this medium at all. So I'm obviously not going for realism. I'm just trying to learn the medium. Just trying to figure out how the color lays down and just how, you know, these blocks and pencils work. So I'm taking the yellow, and what I do is I just add water to my paintbrush and then I rub it along the block and then I put it on the paper. That's been the easiest so far way for me to do the color, straight color, when I'm not having to blend colors. When I'm blending colors, then I will use a plastic like watercolor tray to blend my colors in. And now I'm just blocking in those white feathers, like on her forehead, I guess is what you'd call that. And I'm just blocking in the colors in the eye, making sure I get the shadow that's caused by the on a human it would be the upper lid. On her it'd be those upper feathers kind of cast a shadow over her eye. So I was trying to get that and get that the shadow in the nostril. And I'm using the brown Inktense blocks to do my shadows right now. I'm not using black. I don't think I used black on this except for maybe in just one or two places. The pupil was one. For some of the very dark shadows, I think I used the black blocks. Everything else is like a dark brown or a dark gray. So I've zoomed in here, so hope you can get more of the detail. There's that shadow of the eye, of the upper eye, that generally you're always going to have. And as you can see, everything looks kind of rough right now. You know, painting, no matter in what medium you're using, it's always about layers. Your first layer is never usually your final layer. You're generally going to always add layers upon layers, and that's how you build up your depth and your contrast and your texture. And if there's a painting medium that you're interested in and you're kind of hesitant because you've never used it before, I encourage you just to try it. You'll never learn until you put paintbrush to canvas and just try. And no one makes a masterpiece their very first go at something. There's always a learning curve, and you have to practice just like anything else. So that's really all I'm doing here, is just practicing. I don't expect this to be some extraordinary painting when I'm done. I'm just hoping that it looks decent. I'm just going for decent, and that you can tell what it is. I'm not going for realism or ultra realism, or just kind of impressionistic style is really all I'm going for. So now I'm layering down some browns, and I've mixed some of that brown in my little tray. I've mixed some browns in with some whites to make that taupey color that would be in her ear area, and then using a very dark brown for the shadow underneath the chin. So now I'm just kind of blocking in the dark parts of the feathers. I've lined each one of these feathers with the white Inktense blocks. Now I'm coming back with kind of a reddish brown to add just another layer of color in there. And I'll be honest, I did kind of struggle with the feathers on her head and body, or neck. I would go through stages where I liked it and didn't like it, and then I would go too far with it, and then I'd have to come back. And see, now I'm putting back in. I took out too much of the white, so now I'm having to put the white feather edges back in. And I think I do this several times. But it's okay, because I'm just practicing. And this is all just part of the learning curve. I'll probably have to paint, several more paintings using the Inktense before I get it. And before I can really focus in on how to get detail and how to do feathers in my style. And so this is what I encourage any new artist or any artist starting a new medium. Just practice. I get bored really easy, so I flip-flop between mediums, and I love to learn new stuff. Growing up, my dad always told me that there was nothing I can do as long as I put my mind to it. And so I've always had that mindset where I could do anything. I just had to try. And don't be afraid of failure in the beginning. Kind of expect it. Have kind of a lower expectation. Like here, I know that this isn't going to be perfect, and I'm okay with that. As long as it resembles the bird, then that's what I'm striving for. I'm going to be happy if you can tell that this is an eagle when the painting is done. And you don't have to worry about people judging you, because I put my stuff out there for other people to judge. But if you're not on YouTube or Patreon or doing something like that, if you completely bomb at something, just tuck it into a drawer and say, strive to do better on the next one. You don't have to expose yourself to everybody else's critique if you're not happy with it. And honestly, I know this painting is done, so I know how it turned out, and I'm okay with the way it turned out. So I've turned it into a video. If I had completely bombed on this, you would never have seen it. So you don't have to show everybody everything, right? So I'm still just kind of playing with these feathers, trying to figure it out. I didn't like the way it was, so now I'm going back and I'm darkening it all up again. And we'll go for, what will this be, round 3 on the feathers, I believe. I'm pretty much happy with the way the beak is. I'm just kind of trying to fix the coloring, get the coloring to my satisfaction. Trying to work on that contrast on the beak, because there's a shine, a highlight on the beak that I'm still not completely happy with at this point. I'm working on some of the detailed white feathers around the beak and around the eye. I'd like to come back and paint this bird in acrylic also. So I'm thinking about doing that in the future, is taking this bird and doing it in Inktense and then doing it in acrylic. I'd like to learn how to do colored pencils. I've never done those before, other than when I was younger and just coloring with colored pencils, but using the colored pencils in the way they're meant to be used as far as the blending and things like that. I've never done that before. So that's one of my other projects, and I'd like to do it with this bird. So that may happen in the future. My next project, I've been asked to do a painting of a logo for a company, and they are going to actually auction off the painting at one of their next events. So that's going to be what my next videos are about, is that commissioned piece, which I'm actually very nervous about. I don't like to do commissioned pieces, but my brother does some stuff with the crypto watch, and he has asked me to do this, and pretty much if he asks me to do something, I never say no. So, but he likes to push me way outside my comfort zone, and not only is he pushing me slightly out of my comfort zone, but I have a hard deadline that I have to make in order for him to get this painting onto a plane in time for the event. So that's what'll be coming up this next week. And it will be a painting of an owl with the crypto watch wording across the bottom. So I'm really excited about it. I'm more comfortable working in oils than I am any other medium because I've worked in those for a lot longer. But because the painting has to be, dried and varnished all before he leaves, which my deadline is May 17th of 2018, depending on when you're watching this. So it is now April 29th. I've ordered some Frederick's canvases. I've ordered 2 just in case I screw something up. I always have a backup. And then this one, he wants some dimension to it, so I'm going to be using some model paste, or modeling paste, I guess what they call it, from Liquitex. And I'm going to I have a Cricut machine, so I'm going to cut out a stencil of the words, and I'm going to use that modeling paste to raise those letters up a little bit, just to add some dimension and some flair to it. I'm not sure how it's going to work, hence the reason for the two canvases that I've ordered. But the whole thing's got to be done and varnished all by that 17th hard deadline. So it's going to be done in acrylic. And I'm nervous about it. I always get nervous when he asks me to do something. But this one, because he's asking his friends and co-workers and associates to bid on this piece, I feel like there's a lot more pressure for it to be really, really good. Generally, I only paint for myself. I paint what I want to paint. I paint in the medium that I want to paint, a medium that I want to paint in. And if somebody doesn't like it, that I have no problem with that. I'm okay with that. I paint for myself. I don't paint to please others. This is the way I relax and I unwind. My boyfriend and I own a business. We live here in Texas, and we own a beekeeping supply store here close to where we live. And it's extremely stressful we've been in business now for 5 years, so trying to get a business off the ground is very, very stressful. And a lot of the books and stuff falls on me. He does more of the inventory and manufacturing part of it. And so painting is my way of kind of getting away from all that and relieving the stress of trying to run a business. And so I really don't care what other people think, to be honest. I really just want to inspire people to get out and try. If you don't like my paintings, I'm good with that. But I encourage and want to encourage people. I get told all the time that people will tell me they can't paint, they can't do what I do, and I'm like, yeah, you can. It's really not that difficult once you understand the steps, and once you understand the process, and once you start practicing. Practice makes perfect in everything that we do. So the whole commissioned piece, that adds a whole level of stress that I'm just not used to. So we'll see how that turns out. That'll be my next project that I upload. So this project of the Stellar Sea Eagle is over. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspires you to practice and to kind of get outside your comfort zone. And hopefully, if you're inspired, you'll go out and feel the need to inspire others. So thank you for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video.